Q and Yay is brought to you by Patreon. Head to patreon.com/cohesivehome to learn more about how you can help support this community. Now on with the show. We're back with another Q and Yay, so let's get on it.
Today's question is, what does a typical day look like for both of you? Ooh.
That's a very interesting question. Kate, do you want to start?
Well, the short answer is there is no typical day.
Yes.
But if I were to kind of describe what a semi-normal day looks like for me, it usually begins with at least 1 to 3 kids in my bed.
Yeah, and let's first preface this with the ages of your children.
Okay, so I have a 4-month-old, a 3-year-old, and a 6-year-old.
Nice.
But it's just as likely that the 6-year-old will be in bed with me, as the 4-month-old. So.
Oh yeah. So,
right.
Okay, so in bed in the morning. What's next?
And then, as I'm sure most of you listening, if you have kids, I'm hungry. And the little baby birds start chirping. And so I'm typically, changing diapers, trying to cook, trying to get my contacts in and get myself somewhat awake while making a cup of coffee that will usually be cold by the time I actually drink it.
Oh, I laugh because I totally know that.
Right.
Yeah.
No, that happened today. I made a nice cup of coffee and then, today was just nuts. And so I was running around like crazy, trying to get the kids ready for a pediatrician appointment. And then I was like, oh yeah, I didn't drink my coffee. Pick it up and it's cold. I mean, just,
Wah, wah.
I know. I'm like, it's a mom's life.
Yeah. #mom life. Man,
I know.
it's so real.
And then we are homeschooling. And so this usually involves me, trying to cook while the baby's bouncing in like a little jumpy thing in the doorway. And I'm, saying to my oldest, okay, what's, 5 + 5? What's, this or that? Or, we were working on phonetics. So I'm quizzing her on that and trying to make myself feel better about homeschooling.
Calling me and asking me how to do it. And I have no answers.
Right. Come on, Melissa.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's basically what my mornings look like. And then I'm just, throughout the day trying to catch up on email. So I teach online for university, and then also, working on cohesive home stuff. I try really hard not to work around my kids, but if you work from home, you know that is like the biggest challenge is separating personal life and work life.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's
yeah,
real. It's real.
For real,
Struggle
girl.
is real.
And then we will maybe do something fun, maybe go to the playground, go run errands. It's not fun, but, has to be done. And then I will work for a few hours, late afternoon, early evening, help make dinner, try and get kids to bed. And it's like I look at the clock and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's 8 p.m. Like, this day just flew by.
Yep. How did that just happen? Oh, wait. Now I got to go record a podcast with Melissa.
I know. I'm so tired.
Oops. Oh.
For reals. So,
Yeah.
And then, I used to, I would stay up later after the kids were asleep and work. And now, dude, I am so tired. I'll be nursing the baby and I'll just fall asleep. Mm-hmm. And I wake up in the morning and I'm like, shoot, I didn't get anything done. And so, it's the season we're in.
Well, and I think that, not that this is really answering any of the question, but kind of describes why Kate and I both have streamlined cohesive home, is because we know that we only have so many hours in the day and we only have so much time to put into this wonderful community. And so yeah, now you kind of get it
For sure.
a glimpse, at least on her end. So on my
It's
end,
a scary glimpse.
yeah, people are like, oh gosh, how do you do it? No, I think there'll be a lot of people, a lot of moms especially, that can relate. But so I'm kind of in the stages of life that are just slightly ahead of Kate's. I've got a 9, an 8, and a 6-year-old. And we also homeschool. I would love to wake up in the morning and go work out, but right now I sleep in as much as possible.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah. So
does that really happen?
I think
as your kids get older?
It does. And I think that, even if they wake up, I can still sleep because they just go start playing Legos or something.
Oh,
and because we don't go, and because we don't have to get up and go to school, I can sleep in. And so that is a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
To not have a place to be at a certain time in the mornings can be really, really nice. But at the same time can also be really hard because I don't have something spurring me to get ready very quickly. So I tend to sleep in, and then I'll get up and I'll get ready, depending if I need to take a shower or not that morning, which those are also hit or miss. Mm-hmm. So we'll get ready. And now that school is starting, it's kind of starting for us next week. All of our kind of extracurricular things are starting. So in the mornings, we'll kind of hit on a few subjects. We're going to try that out. My kids tend to be a little spoiled with that because I'm that teacher that can get very distracted. I don't know if you remember having one of those teachers in high school. They're like, oh man, if we go down this rabbit hole, they will totally not do what we're supposed to be doing. Yeah, that's me.
That's you.
So, oh yeah. Oh mom, but I want to learn about this artist. Why don't you look it up on YouTube? Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, that's the beauty of homeschooling, I guess. But so we'll typically just get things done in the morning, and then we typically have our afternoons are pretty full of extracurricular things. So, or even like play dates or things like that. I try and be out in the afternoon. And then, throughout the day though, I will say like I'm on the phone with Kate. So I'm, trying to schedule out, when are we going to do our next podcast? When are we recording? Let's have a quick meeting. So we'll like either talk about our personal lives or that will inevitably go into what are we going to do with Cohesive Home.
And can I interrupt here?
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to totally call you out on this, but
oh no.
Melissa one time took my phone call while she was taking a shower. And I think we had at least a 10-minute meeting. I mean, I felt pretty relaxed listening to the water, but I felt really bad for you. Like, why are we doing this? We've got issues.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I did. And I was listening to a podcast while I was showering because you have to multitask. And you called me and I'm like, I'll just take the call. So yeah, totally. There's that mom life again. You gotta.
So wrong and so right. And
oh my gosh. Yeah, that was a good meeting though. It was a really good meeting.
Yeah,
and that's the other problem. What?
They say that, you have all your creative ideas in the shower. So maybe we should just be like shower meetings.
Hey, Kate, jump in.
Oh, gosh.
Brainstorm. Oh, my gosh. Oh,
TMI.
Goodness. Yeah, so
guys.
That's how we get it done, is just trying to multitask without being too very distracted. Yeah, probably very poorly. And then, so evenings for us, summertime has been a little sporadic. But my husband really enjoys coming home, we have dinner, and then he starts reading to the kids. Or now that school's starting, he's going to start having the kids read to him, and then he'll read to them. So the evenings are really just, he's kind of taken that on for us. He's taken on like the reading aspect of our homeschooling, learning reading and things like that. So I'll read to the kids too at home, like during the day, but he takes on the learning aspect of it more at night. They're just much more responsive to him than they are to me. So yeah, that's kind of how it is. We put the kids in bed, get a glass of wine, watch a New Girl.
Oh man.
And then, yeah, do it all
Sounds
over the next day.
awesome.
However, I will say I would really like to be better about waking up early, working out, and that sort of thing. So
That's always the goal, though. I mean, it
yeah.
sounds good, but actually making it happen.
Oh man, I give those moms credit. They can like go out and just like bust out 2 miles and like come back in feeling awesome. I'm like, I'm tired. So if anyone,
Where's my coffee?
seriously, oh yeah, I forgot to say that. I'm totally drinking coffee by 8 a.m.
You just have it on IV, right?
Yeah. That's so true. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So if anybody has any encouragement or ideas on how to like do the workout thing better than what I'm doing right now or what Kate's doing. Although you went to a yoga class the other day. Super jealous.
I went last night, yeah, and it was amazing.
Yeah.
It was amazing. That's all. But I came home and 2 out of 3 kids were crying, so it was like
Worth it.
relaxation gone. Yeah, I know. Like, oh, baby, sorry.
Oh my goodness. Well, we have definitely chatted this one up. I'm sure people are like, aren't these supposed to be 5-minute podcasts? No.
Oh, shoot. Sorry.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Okay, so Melissa, for our What We're Into Now section, have I told you what podcast I'm totally binging on?
You mentioned one the other day, but I would love to know because I like a good podcast.
I know that you do, and I am actually terrible. I really don't listen to that many podcasts. Granted, I have little people who
Yeah.
need my attention like 24/7, so like to actually listen to something all the way through is a miracle. But I read somewhere about an episode called Seasons on the Rob Bell podcast, which is called Robcast, and it's episode 115. And actually, Kirk and I listened to it in the kitchen one morning. The kids were playing, and we had quiet. And it was such a good episode. It was just on transitions and life, and it was just really comforting. And then so I was like, ooh, I like this. And so I listened to episode 136, which was an interview with Susan David on emotional agility.
Huh.
Dude, I know that sounds boring. It was so good.
Emotional agility.
Like how you adapt to just life experiences and like your stress levels. They talked a little bit about social media. I don't know. It was good.
I need to listen to that.
Yeah.
That would be
so
awesome.
episode 136.
Yeah, because I would immediately go emotional agility. I'm not
I
listening
know.
to
I
that.
know.
Boring.
Well, she wrote a book, and so I was like, ooh, I'm going to read the book.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's awesome.
Well, what about you? What's on your radar?
Since you did a podcast, I won't do a podcast, but I really like Netflix documentaries. And I like making my children watch them, especially if they're like about food or just our environment. I feel like our kids really they can see that and watch that and it sticks. Yeah. So this is a whole nother podcast that you and I will definitely bring up, but about food. But I was really struggling a couple weeks ago with just my whole food journey, if you want to call it that. And I had watched Cooked before by Michael Pollan. It's like a 4-part documentary series, and I highly recommend everyone watching that. It's so good. But he also has one on Netflix called In Defense of Food, which is a book, but he ended up doing a documentary about it. Oh my gosh, Kate, I cannot say enough good things about this documentary. It was, it gave me a lot of peace, but it also, because it confirmed a lot of things that I already believed about food, but it also just kind of gave me gave me some good answers, and I don't know, I really enjoyed it. So if anyone is a Michael Pollan fan, or if they just are a fan of food, watch In Defense of Food. It is very, very good. That's mine.
Nice. I read the book probably, I don't know, 8 or so years ago, something like that. But yeah, I will totally watch it. So awesome.
Thank you so much for everyone that's listening. We will be back on Tuesday with another full-length episode. See you then.